I think we have very similar headphones, is my recollection when...
HD 280 Pro,
Yep,
right?
that's the exact one.
Yeah, no, they're excellent. I've replaced the ear cuffs on them 4 times, I think.
Yeah, I bought these, I think probably around when we started the podcast. But
Does it make the yerk anxious when you wear them, Chris?
No, so that's actually specifically why I got these versus earplugs, because the plugs are tight.
Right.
And I do, unfortunately, when I'm doing an ABBA performance and I use in-ear monitors, that is a situation where I tell the yerk, the yerk only went in my left ear, so I can do it on just the right. And
right.
That's how I
and even if they had gone in your right ear, they could shift over to the left side while you had
right, because it's not like there's a brain stopping them from doing that.
Right, yeah, they can just move.
It's just like an open canal.
Well, I would just think wearing the earplugs, it would be kind of triggering for the yerk. I'm already in here, no room for a second.
Yeah, so it feels like someone's trying to come in,
it's just
coming in unannounced, No, and that makes my heart race, because I am the yerk.
In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Catherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are the Anidorks.
These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go right back in. Chapter 7?
Yep.
7, yeah.
All right, cool.
Chapter 7. Osprey Marco and Eagle Rachel have just broken into David's bedroom to grab the Escafil device. David has armed himself with a gun in order to defend his family's house from 2 rampaging birds. Only once Marco has been shot by the rifle does he realize that it's thankfully a BB gun. Marco tries to snatch the Escafil device from the desk with his talons, but the device is too big for him to carry gracefully. He flies awkwardly out of the room with Rachel close behind. David has now realized what the 2 birds are after and chases them through the house. Just as Marco and Rachel reach a sliding door to exit the house, David catches up to Marco. Marco doesn't want to hurt David, an innocent bystander, and is forced to give up the device before fleeing the house with Rachel. Rachel was ready to beat the shit out of him, too. I would have done it.
It's a little confusing following the last book that Marco was so seemingly game to kill a child, and now he's like...
She was yerked.
But David is just so unsympathetic.
That's true. I agree.
I know. And it really is if we get the thing, here's how freaking high the stakes are. If we don't get this thing now, we have 2 really big problems.
Yeah.
This was the day when we got the morphing cube. This is when we do it. And it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I will say, also, so the 2 differences with Karen, she was actively yerked and she knew who they were.
I'm sorry, the 2 differences between David and Karen? Between David and Karen, there are
many more
unrelatability.
There are
only one of them is adorable.
Myriad differences. Yes, there are myriad differences between David and Karen. However, the differences in whether or not we should hurt them, I think, center around one was yerked and knew their identities, and one is unyerked and does not know their identities, although... They're taking a big swing here thinking he's just gonna... What is he gonna think? They're trained birds? That's the stupidest thing
insane.
I've ever
that's
fucking
the
heard.
Lowest comment. That's there's no fucking way he thinks
He thinks
that.
just 2
There's
birds
no
got
way.
into his house. And also, Chris, you're acting like this was the chance. It's just this kid. He was out back swimming in the pool. Tomorrow he's probably gonna be out in the pool again. What's he gonna do? Put it on Craigslist or whatever? I think.
Yeah,
You're right, because Craigslist doesn't even exist.
It's a
What am I
Rubik's
thinking?
Cube.
it's just a cube with some foreign writing on it. His dad, he's moved all around with his dad. He's seen the shit all the time. It's not a big deal.
And they're not gonna repair the window by tomorrow, so it's
a weird take. But what
Repair
was he
is
doing?
a stretch, by the way. But
What was he doing in the pool while Buffy was on?
yeah, well, he was taping Buffy.
No.
Oh, you're right.
Well, see, that's
Buffy
how
was
Marco,
on.
No, that's
His
how
family was watching.
I know, and I
and
know.
Marco
Honestly,
realizes he forgot to
this
tape
is low
Buffy.
key who I am. Like when we were that age, Miranda, I would have left the TV on and gone and jumped on the trampoline.
Oh, 100%.
I
Yeah,
think-
I didn't. I wasn't watching
window.
shows. But
I
like,
think this is how Marco knows he has no shot with David. He's not even trying because he was out in the pool instead of watching Buffy, so he's not even pursuing.
there's just no ground. There's
like,
no
I
common
know
ground for them to.
who this
So, like,
person
I said this recently on my Twitter that, like, if I'm talking to someone who's never seen Utena, like Revolutionary Girl Utena, like, there's just we're not having the same conversation because we're not living in the same reality. Like, it's just that different, right? And, like, that's where Marco and David are at here.
By the way, I think I have an episode or a name for our podcast introducing Utena to people. It's called Hutana Utena. Question mark.
Miranda, I think our listeners could tell the moment, like, they could hear it was for a long time. Our podcast was. Whenever you and I were talking, it was people in two different realities. And then Chris got me to watch the show. And then it was like, oh, that's when Anidorks came together.
We merged.
Finally, we
Brandon
could set up a
Newman was missing,
Patreon.
and it was, yes, that is actually hysterically true. It was like I got my act together once.
It's like you just have to get through season 1. Like that was Anidorks.
You gotta get through. If you don't get through the Black Rose arc, you're not living life. You know what I mean? Like,
It's true.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we covered that chapter.
Yeah, I feel like we got it. I feel
this is the first instance. I want to say this is an instance of cruelty to animals. You know, we're keeping our eye on David.
Sure, yes.
And like,
yes.
admittedly,
No,
they were trying to steal from him, but also they're just fucking birds. Like, was this called for?
No, he took it too far. Like, I think he could have shut the door and been fine. Yeah.
My understanding of how possession works and property is that because they touched that cube in a construction site once before, isn't it theirs?
So I think that, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law, and they may be on your property, but they're holding that device. Possession is
That is their-
What does that saying mean? Like, I know what it.
No, don't look it up.
I know what it means. I'll look it up. Possession is not.
Ooh,
also,
spooky.
that's a good joke for like a spooky episode. Think about it.
I think it basically means if you own it,
the law.
it's yours.
I think it literally means. It actually no. This is what I suspected it meant, and this is why I looked it up. It means if you literally possess it, and you're like. You literally have it, and someone has to come take it.
And they have
your
to come
talon.
take it from your talon, and it's
Which-
much
oh,
more
and
likely.
David-
It's much more
Talon. Right.
likely
David
that
does
you're
too.
protected legally in that situation than they are if you're holding the thing, even if it wasn't your thing first.
Yeah. That's what we've been picking. That's the weird vibe we've been picking up from David. This thing
that
is a
makes
baby
sense.
lawyer. He knew he just had to get it
Makes
back.
He is a baby lawyer.
Chapter 8.
Shall we move to chapter 8?
Yes.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Eddie, why did you read
Okay, I'll
this
do
one?
it.
It's not like you decided.
a little out of order, but I'll do it.
I wasn't really prepared for this, but
The gang decides to call it for the evening with the intention of revisiting the Escafil Device heist the following day. Marco goes to school where David approaches him in the lunch line. David asks Marco to hang out so that he can tell him about a strange thing that happened to him the day before. Marco agrees to eat lunch with him despite the obvious red flag that David does not laugh at any of his jokes. David recites yesterday's events back to Marco, sharing his belief that 2 trained birds tried to steal that blue box
What an idiot.
he found in the construction site. Luckily, David says, his cat Megadeth was there to assist him in fighting the birds off. If only David's cobra had been out of his cage as well to help. David clarifies that of course his cobra has had his venom glands removed, but the birds would have still been plenty frightened by the snake. David adds that cobras are not even legal to own, but his dad, who is a spy, was able to obtain the cobra while traveling overseas. Marco tries to keep up with all of this information. He nods, agreeing that the birds must have been trained to rob houses, but this inadvertently confirms David's suspicion that the Escafil device is worth a great deal of money, which is why David has posted a listing for the device on a few websites, even describing the symbols on the blue cube. In fact, David says he already has an interested buyer. If all goes to plan, David will sell that device to the buyer this afternoon. Huzzah! Marco suggests that he comes over to David's house as backup this afternoon in case the buyer causes any trouble. David agrees to this plan, revealing to Marco that he has an email with his address, his home address, time to go out just before he arrives home. Yeah. Marco wonders how in the world he is going to save David's life.
This is the opposite.
I don't get it.
I can't tell you where I live. Like this, this is why I'm saying David is not the new Animorph. It's obviously Tashandra. She's gonna come out of nowhere.
Listen, he says his dad is a spy.
Right.
He says his dad is a spy.
Yeah.
We later learn a little bit more about what agency he works for, and I just can't imagine the child of someone who works for any of the 3-letter agencies, really, but like specifically the one his dad does. Being like, I should tell some random person my address on. Is this why they've had to move so often? He says it's for his dad's work, but he just keeps giving them away. He literally, he really is, because he's
David
like, Marco, you're the only person I know here, so I have to talk to you about this. By the way, my dad's a spy. Don't tell anyone. Like it slips out. He's known him for like less than 24 full hours, and he's like, I'm gonna tell you my dad's a spy, but you can't tell anyone. Which I think means that his dad isn't a spy and actually has a job in this 3-letter organization that's too embarrassing to tell to his child. And I went
Pencil
with
pusher.
interpretive dance coordinator, but like, you know,
you mean
the
because
NSA
you need to get across all languages, when you do things. So like it really, you need to express the key emotions of a speech alongside the speech, because some people have trouble detecting emotion.
Right, because NSA's other 3-letter meaning is non-structured ambulation.
Exactly.
For modern dance.
The other thing is, I just want to say, I actually count this as instance 2, although technically instance 1, because it's in the past, of cruelty to animals, because I think removing the venom of a snake is like on par with declawing a cat. It's just fucked up.
It's cruel. It is cruel.
It's cruel to he says he shouldn't have it. Like, he's like, I shouldn't have this. My dad found a way for me to have it illegally because he's a spy. Like, it's totally fucked up.
So here we go. I did not think about this while I was reading the book, but I'm thinking about it now. We are getting boy Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there. Dad's not in the picture as much as he should be. Tries to win her over with flashy things.
Yeah.
Well, his dad's a spy.
He is, but he does. We see him later, so that makes it feel like he comes home, but he probably has to go away a lot. Yeah,
I'm just saying, he probably travels a lot. He even says he travels, he gets me things. I'm just saying, this kid's got pent-up anger.
Yeah.
Like, as Miranda was calling with the harm towards animals, and like, we'll see throughout these books, this kid is already like, he is like...
Two questions. Does Rachel have a pool? I don't think... I feel like only...
I've never heard it mentioned, but I'm sure after the lawsuit, when her house just mysteriously collapsed for no reason.
But clearly Marco would have mentioned it if Rachel had a pool. He'd be in that pool all the time. Darlene had a pool.
That's true.
Before she became Chunks.
But you know what? If they're paying for it with the settlement money from the house collapse, they're probably still in the process. It takes a long time to put in an in-ground
we know it's
pool,
only
you got to do it in the right season.
4 months since the start of the series. So
it's probably just in the works.
I have to say, I imagined a scenario where the email goes out before he gets home, and he just comes home without his house being there. Like, his house is
stole my house!
They took the whole thing. They were like, listen, last time we apparently managed to incinerate Alfangor's entire ship without destroying the Escafil device. We're taking the whole house.
We're taking the whole house.
Also, what is it? Does the cat being named Megadeth only signal to us that he's into metal? I don't know anything about Megadeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's all it's supposed to signal.
Okay.
And like metal tended... at the time, metal tended to send a sign of like a troubled kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and not to
But, like,
mention liking Spawn, dude.
Spawn is
like,
a
that's
rough
super
comic.
That's
What
a
is
really
Spawn like?
Sigma.
I don't.
It's like
my memory of it is very Sigma male coded.
let me check.
Like, it's very,
like if Venom were worse.
Like Punisher?
Yes,
No,
but also
isn't Spawn DC? I thought.
yeah. Oh, I just keep
Yeah.
getting the movie. I'm like not looking for the movie. I'm looking for the character. Here we go.
Anti-hero showing up in a thing. Todd
Image. So it
McFarlane.
started out as Image Comics, actually.
Okay, but that's DC.
Yes, I believe they were
yeah.
acquired by DC. I could be crazy though.
Anyway, we're not
He's
comic
like
experts.
it's short for Hellspawn. He's like crazy. He's definitely like an anti-hero. Not
Definitely,
like you're not supposed to totally root for Spawn. He's very violent.
Okay.
It's a cool comic for sure.
Okay.
But like
He's like the Punisher.
yeah. Eddie said like I'm like it's like if the Punisher met Venom and had like the worst baby you could think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do get a great school day routine here. So because
True.
Marco, because their mission
this whole
fails.
thing. I was hoping you would explain this to me. I love
Because the mission fails, Marco has to. It's almost like it's not like the day would have gone differently if the mission had succeeded. But he recounts his next day. Like, I had to wake up. I had to go through the whole routine again. I had to go and have cauliflower for lunch at school, and he gets called Little Marco by the lunch lady. Which is just, I mean, it really feels like we're getting Marco contrasted with David. Like we're being shown that these are two entire, on a larger level, I think we're going to get shown that like, it isn't just like a random group of kids that became the Animorphs. It's kind of like, I'm kind of zooming out here, but it's like, these are special kids who were meant to be Animorphs is kind of what I feel like we're getting in this book.
And as much as I sometimes dislike that as a trope, like where it's like you're actually special, that's why you were picked, because I love this idea that like any random nobody could be special on the right day. And I think that's true of them though. I don't think they're like cosmically special. They were just the right kind of special to become the Animorphs, and so they were led to this destination. There were other kids who could have been good Animorphs. They just weren't there at the time.
Yeah.
And, like, David is not showing himself to be the kind of person I would want to be an Animorph, but maybe that's just me.
It's also
It's really funny
how far the kids have come. It's like, since the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed
Fair
it.
point.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Very
'Cause
fair point.
It is just so funny to think, like, these kids were so accessible back in book one, and now, like, we're all, like, we've all changed as we've read these books. We're all, like, Animorph experts.
This goes back to something we were saying last episode, which is, like, we have not seen certain things from book 3 come back again, like the truck ship, but also at this point, we would never see it come back again because our children would not make the same mistakes. They've learned. Like,
no, they would never.
Oh my God.
Rachel, in book 16, she almost got killed flying into a window. She wouldn't just burst through a window again.
God, you're terrible.
No, and they would
You're
never
terrible.
just
Your
fly
passive
onto
aggression.
a ship with no plan. That's not something that they would do. They're past that
Well,
now.
yeah, and Chris,
But, you know, if there was a very limited time to make a decision, I could see how they could make a mistake.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. I know that's what we keep saying, but it's like, I feel like the only way they listen to me, Chris, is if I am passive aggressive with them. It's like they just won't hear me if I speak more aggressively.
I will say, I just wanted to say, like, it better be passive aggressive because in the last chapter, like, you said a bunch of stuff wouldn't happen, and pretty much all of it just happened in this chapter.
We couldn't have seen that coming.
Yeah, we couldn't have seen.
We couldn't have known.
How was I
Is
to
it
know?
my job to predict the future? No, it's.
It's your job to rewrite the past.
Yes.
Anyway, all right, chapter 9?
Yeah.
All right. Wow, this is shorty. You can cut me saying that if it's just funnier for
Are you making fun of Marco?
9. I don't think it's going to take me
Is that a
7 minutes
height
to read
comment?
this, Eddie. Anyway. Chapter 9. Marco catches Jake up on his conversation with David in a bathroom during an afternoon class. Jake decides that Marco must leave school early and go to David's house before the end of the school day to stop the email from going out. Marco decides to bring Axe along to help in case David's computer is somehow password protected. He finds Axe in the woods, shocker, and catches him up on the situation before they fly to David's house together.
Now, I don't totally agree. It's a very short chapter, but I do think there is some stuff in here.
Dude, this chapter, the next two chapters made me feel insane. They made me feel like, not to speak, like, they just made me feel like it's my life.
And it's now or never?
It's now or never.
No one's going to live forever.
No one's going to live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive.
I feel like not a lot happened in this chapter on a plot level, but there were a lot of good details.
Oh, dude, it was so wacky. It was so like, we gotta go talk to this person. And now I'm turning.
You gotta leave now, and you gotta and make sure to give me Cassie's notes because you doodle stupid boy doodles in your notes, and I don't want any of those.
Not my Jake. This is not the Jake from tanks and planes.
Hashtag.
No,
I don't know. Planes.
No,
maybe.
that's actually it. Actually makes sense.
Tanks, I think no, but planes maybe sure. I could see him having
I thought they were plane nerds in a previous book.
I feel like it came up once, but like tanks definitely feels off. Like planes, I would see, especially because they love flying and stuff now. Like I could see if he got into planes, but like. Also, Jake is such like a wholesome all-American Boy Scout. Like, if you told me he and his dad built model planes in the garage, like, I'd 100% believe that. So, like, planes, fine. Tanks feels so aggressive for Jake, who's now in a war and doesn't want to be. Yeah. Like, I think he just stopped doodling tanks.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a tank morph yet, and he would have by this point.
Right.
So.
Although he has a rhino morph, which is kind of like a tank.
That's true. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
But he's like, kill that email, which I think is a funny thing to say just in general.
He actually gets kicked out of class because he curses.
For saying a curse word. Which curse word do you think he says?
Frick.
For some reason. No, dude. It's got to be way worse than frick, man.
Damn.
Get your head in the game, Miranda. Damn. No, it's got to be way.
Do you think he pulled an HE double hockey sticks?
No, dude, I think it was like a...
Fuckers?
I think it was like a... Yeah, I think it was fuckers.
You think it was shit dick?
I think it was shit dick. I think it was shit-ass piss dick.
Wow.
I will say... I think it was a triptych.
In third grade, I got
He got all cryptic saying shit-ass piss dick.
Oh, my God. In third grade, I got my only, you needed 3 marks to, I think they call them demerits to get detention. I got my only ever demerit because I left the school the next year for spelling shit. And
I got sent to detention for quoting Ocean's 11 in a class.
What was the line?
What was the line? Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it's like, it was like, you stupid, I think the word I said was, prick?
Oh.
It was like, you stupid prick. Or you stupid.
Yeah, and like, I honestly...
Because it was someone with a British accent.
If it was like a British, we wouldn't necessarily know that was like as bad a word, quote unquote. As
you stupid bastard.
Oh, bastard. That's just a factual statement. Like, if your parents were unmarried, like, that's just a factual... I mean, you can't call them...
I was reading The Bard at the time.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the task at hand.
Back to reality.
There goes
there's a really cute moment where... Marco flies up on Axe and is like, would you be able to, like, bypass a password on a computer? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was your attempt at human humor. I've been trying to be able to detect that better. And that's very cute. But he's like, yeah, no, it's actually an insult to ask me. But because I know you, I will let it slide. So this is when Axe finds out that, like, the Visser is on the way. He's managed to tell Jake, Marco is Marco. He's managed to tell Jake, Cassie, and Rachel. But Axe and Tobias are still in the dark about this because this all happened at school. And so now he's telling Axe, and they're going to fly over. Mm-hmm. And that's the plan.
Yeah. I think the thing is like no time to explain. It's a classic. No time to explain. We gotta go. Like da.
We also get. I like this because it's like how news travels through the group, which we often just jump to them all at Cassie's barn, but we don't. Yeah. We kind of get it gradually here. Also, on his way, Marco spends like half this chapter just describing flying over, almost like it's the calm before the storm or something. But he does see a private plane. He flies higher than he's ever flown before, and
True.
sees a private plane, and I wondered, is that supposed to be one of the
I thought the same thing.
One of the leaders?
I thought the same exact
I didn't even
thing.
think about it.
But why
Yeah,
else mention it? It was just like he's just,
Yeah. Why else mention it? Indeed. Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree 100%.
Because planes fly higher than many birds, is what I assumed. Especially
Yeah.
birds that need to see the ground. Like, he'd be hunting. So, like, I don't think ospreys go that high, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Should we just finish out this like hyper section? Should we just like
Chapter-
get this
chapter
chapter
10?
10 in here
Okay,
and
yeah.
we can talk about them as a set?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So, chapter 10. The clock is ticking as Marco rushes to stop that email. Marco and Axe find Tobias keeping an eye on David's house as they approach and discuss the best way to infiltrate, given that David's bedroom window has been boarded up with plywood after Rachel's destructive entrance. Luckily, no one is home this time. Marco and Axe decide to morph into cockroaches just outside the back door. But just before they morph, Marco decides to test the doorknob to see if it's unlocked. After all, if they could just enter the house as humans, wouldn't that be easier? Bad idea. Marco triggered the burglar alarm. Even the burglar birds managed to not do that. Marco and Axe dart through the house towards David's bedroom, Axe's tail creating a huge mess as they go. Tobias thought speaks an update that David's spy father has pulled into the driveway just as Marco and Axe reach the bedroom. Marco pulls up AOL on David's computer. The phone begins to ring. Downstairs, David's father enters the spy house, deactivates the spy alarm, and then answers the spy phone. The call is from the police, checking on what triggered the spy alarm. David's father tells the police that he is law enforcement and there is no need to send anyone to investigate the situation. Marco is still at the computer, waiting for AOL to load. He orders Axe to hide in the closet. Aw. Make himself small. Aw. And just try to stay under the radar for the next 4 years of high school until he can move to the big city. Aww. Sorry, I meant Marco orders Axe to hide in the closet and then morph into something small while he hides himself under the bed. Just as David's spy father enters the bedroom, Marco realizes two things. The first, the clock in David's bedroom is an hour behind, which means that the email with the home address will actually be released in 3 minutes as opposed to 1 hour and 3 minutes. The second, Marco has company beneath the bed. David's cobra. There's a lot.
Stressful.
There's a lot to chew on in this chapter. One, if anyone is old enough to remember who listens, feel free to let me know, and I can also do some polling and some asking. But is this how email worked?
So quick clarification. The clock in David's bedroom
Is on his computer.
technically
It's the clock on his computer.
on his computer.
Yes, the
his
clock on David's
computer's
computer.
clock. Yeah.
How does that happen?
Which
Well,
it
he
used
just
to happen
moved,
all the time.
and
no, but it used
clocks
it
weren't
computer-
set by the internet.
But yeah, exactly. And like they have a little battery in the computer that keeps the clock going like a watch.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if
Really?
you didn't set it for daylight savings time.
Oh, could even be that.
Yeah.
I assumed he moved there from New Mexico because he went to the high school from High School Musical.
I think we could possibly figure out whether or not, maybe we could figure out when in the year they are based on whether or not it's fall forward or spring
That'd be
back,
interesting.
But I'm not smart enough. Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
not
you
gonna
had
piece
to
that out
set it, and you still can set your PC clock. It checks the internet, but depending on where you tell it you live, it does it. But old PCs didn't used to check the internet at all. I think you had to tell it what time zone you lived in, and then the battery was dependent on keeping the clock running at the correct speed.
Yeah, I mean, we go to time.is to do our sync, but there are these things called NTP servers, Network Time Protocol, I think, and that's the OG time.is, but it's for computers.
Yeah.
It's a little thing you hit, and it's go get the best time.
So,
And, now they just do it automatically,
Yeah.
but back in the day they didn't.
My bigger question is, I know you could, it makes perfect sense to me that even if the functionality wasn't built into AOL itself, which it probably was, you could delay the sending of an email so long as you were dialed in at the time the email was supposed to send, right? And that would be based off of, shouldn't
my
that
God.
be based off of the server's time, not your computer's time?
So no, it would be based on your computer's time because email is No, like, so you set up your email client on your computer to send an email. Yeah, it's based on your system
It's stored
time.
locally. And, like, this is the big issue. So it's stored locally until the time it's supposed to send. But if it weren't connected at the time it was supposed to send, it simply wouldn't. And so, like,
email,
how is he justifying to his dad leaving his
tying up the
phone line?
For the entire
Also,
day.
we have evidence that they have at least one dedicated phone line because the phone rings while the computer is connected to the internet.
Yep, good call.
But, like, you would still have to justify. I mean, you were charged minutes back then. Like, his dad would be like, why'd you leave the computer on all fucking day connected to the internet?
Don't worry, Dad, with how much I'm about to make selling this little blue box you got me,
and, like, maybe the
You won't have
NSA
to
gets
be a
free
spy
internet.
anymore.
Yeah.
and you can finally be the dad I want instead of the dad I
so
hardly
cute.
see. You're right, Dad. You are good at being a spy.
But,
You're
like-
so good at disappearing.
But, like, once Marco realizes he's not going to, because they think the best thing to do is to send a different email to cancel the meetup, but still make it look like the email sent.
Marco doesn't think this is true. He's just trying to save face because the first thing he tries to do is rip it out of the wall. When he
talks to Jake, their initial plan, the whole reason they were sort of like bringing Axe was like, it would be best to send the email so that nothing looks weird. And then Tobias is like, couldn't you just unplug the computer? And he's like, shit, yes, I could. But it would be better to send the email. It'd be better to send the email.
Marco this book.
He is ditzy Marco.
They are.
But I think he's pretending to be ditzy. I think he knew all of this. He just wanted an excuse to hang out with X and more.
Maybe. But bigger question, he tries to rip out the phone cord or the plug, and he's like down under the desk, and he's like, but his desk had a back, so I couldn't do anything. Does the tower not have a button?
Yeah.
Or a switch? Because, like, my tower's growing up, even now, my tower now has a button and a switch. It has a hard switch on the back that could simply, you can shut it down. You don't have to hold it or anything.
It doesn't, Miranda, it just straight up doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Real. It just doesn't make sense.
But isn't it exciting?
He was panicking. It is
exciting.
And it was very, very fun. And now we have a freaking cobra in the mix.
We do.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
devenomized cobra, but...
No, this whole section was really, really fun.
It was pretty cool.
It might have been the funniest section in any of the books to date.
But I don't know, the racehorse section was pretty, pretty stellar.
Yeah.
I like that Rachel's bursting through the window affects kind of the world state of David's house where they boarded up. Almost like if they hadn't screwed up that first mission.
Yep.
That they would have, like, if they had gone about it differently. Also, Marco opening the doorknob is just,
oh my God.
Insane.
No reason.
Why?
You're an Animorph.
No
You don't
reason.
have to think about the possibility of, like,
Unbelievable.
what if someone is
Unbelievable.
home? He has complete faith in Tobias scouting the house, by the way. Like, he's opening that door thinking, surely no one's home because he trusts Tobias's call. But
Well, I do think someone's home, and please don't call me Shirley.
But it is very, like, I don't know. It seems unlike him to just, like, grab... And Tobias apparently knows that there's a security system and just didn't tell them because they already had a plan that would bypass it. So, like, why bring it up, I guess?
That's stupid.
But it's stupid because as he goes to grab the door... Tobias is like, no! Like, it's like very,
for the
very
second
stupid.
time, it's the stick all over again. Yeah.
It really
It
is.
the stick all over again.
But I will say
It's all Tobias's fault.
every inch of this book feels like it matters. You know what I mean? Like everything that happened. I mean, I don't know about Tashandra, except that she becomes the next Animorph, but like everything that happens feels like it rolls perfectly into the next thing that happens, and things that, besides the things we're mentioning about, like, why not just turn the computer off with the button and like things like that. Everything seems to roll very naturally and follow, like it happens because the last thing happened. Because Rachel crashed into the window, we now have to enter the house a different way, which is how we set off the burglar alarm, which is how, like...
It has a nice world state keeping thing. It makes it feel very potent and real, like our decisions matter here.
But like even from the first couple chapters of him, the way he talks to David, informing their relationship as it goes on, all feels relevant and as it rolls and continues to build.
Right. And that buildup is that what they're constantly doing is they're not just underestimating David, they're underestimating the stakes of this book. And this is kind of where shit, well, I don't know, and seems to be hitting the fan. But
they're also underestimating the toll this has taken on them and how they would react to it if it was all new to them.
They think they're in book 14. They think they're in the horse book, but they're
they think they're in a wacky, silly, fun book where everybody gets to have a good time, except those guys that got beheaded by Visser 3. But like they're actually in a much more serious book.
Yeah.
Well, and those guys are in a better place.
Yeah.
Shall we see how this all shakes out in chapter 11?
Yes.
Let's.
I don't know if I can
Andalite
wait any
Hal? Is that
longer.
your Cal? What is that better place?
Pick a god and pray.
It's the Fugatorium.
Oh,
all right.
Fun. Chapter 11.
Right next to the fudge house.
As the cobra slithers toward Marco, Marco reaches out his hand to acquire the cobra's DNA. The cobra bites Marco, and Marco reacts with disgust, giving away his hiding place to David's spy father. Marco remembers what David told him earlier about the snake's venom sacs being removed and focuses on absorbing the cobra morph, lulling the cobra into a trance. Meanwhile, Axe shifts in the closet, distracting David's spy father from searching beneath the bed. Just as David's spy father opens the closet door, Axe escapes as a wolf spider scurrying across the floor. David's spy father tries to crush the spider with his spy boots, so Marco forces the cobra out from under the bed to stop David's spy father from spy-stomping the spy floor. The doorbell rings. David's spy father leaves the bedroom to answer the door, certain that the cops must have come to investigate the spy alarm despite his insistence otherwise. Marco crawls out from under the bed to check on the status of the email. He's too late to stop it. It's already been sent. Downstairs, he hears David's spy father tell off the police and then resumes his search of the house for the intruder, climbing the spy stairs. Marco has to hide quickly. He decides to morph into a cobra.
So, one quick note, Eddie, you do such good work. I hate to nitpick. The cobra actually doesn't go into a trance. That's a crucial element of he actually gets bitten after, I think, he gets bitten first and then he decides to morph the cobra, but the cobra continues to thrash. It doesn't actually change anything, but he does specifically mention.
Oh, I missed that detail.
He says when animals are acquired, which is when we absorb their DNA, they become calm, relaxed, peaceful, most of the time anyway, but not the snake. No, as I absorbed the DNA and as David's father went to the closet, that lunatic snake kept thrashing like an idiot. So, it doesn't affect anything. He's like, the closet door opens, he hears that he puts his gun away and that he's gonna, and then, he starts trying to stomp, which is a callback, putting his gun away?
Oh, no, the snake not going into a trance to, which book was it? 15?
Shark.
Where they're trying to get the morph and it doesn't go into the trance.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. I like that they're keeping track of the glitch. In chapter 1, I did say David and his unruly cobra, and this must have been what I was referring to.
It really is. So then he throws the snake out, and then the dad's like, "Oh, the snake can eat the spider, easy peasy." And that's fine, and at least there was no poison, or he'd be dead by now. A dry bite, as they're known, and that's not topical for any particular reason. But
I get it.
But I don't know. I also there's this moment where he says that he's holding Axe. Axe crawled up his hand as a wolf spider, and he says, I was holding a morphed Andalite in my hand. And I just think that's really cute. And I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, I took a deep breath. I had a morphed Andalite in my hand. A deadly email was on its way. David's policeman father could decide to come back up and resume his search, and I had a painful snake bite on my hand.
So what is his role?
This is how Marco dies.
Everything has been going to hell for Marco. It's even when David was describing all the stuff, he's like, I'm gonna sell the thing. My dad's a spy. I did this. I have a cat named Megadeth. I own a cobra. And Marco's like, please stop listing things. There's too many things.
That whole listing thing was like previously on Animorphs.
It was David's chapter 1 of his own Animorphs book.
Oh my God, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But so this is another like listing terrible things that are happening to Marco, and Marco's like, well, I'd be dead if the snake had poison, so I guess it's good.
Marco went on to work at Cracked for many years as a writer.
He's gonna morph
Champions
a
of the listicle.
Oh, we love a listicle.
Yeah.
So we don't think, because if Visser 3, so which up to this point, we don't know if Visser 3 is really the person that
True.
That David's been
could be a
emailing
lackey.
with. Yeah, or he could have misread the entire situation. Like it could be just someone interested in buying a cube with strange writing on it.
Could be the shack lady.
Yeah,
Could be.
That's
could
true.
Be. Who knows?
If it is a yerk and they managed to yerk David's family or something. If David's father is really a spy, what a get! They stumbled on it. Yeah.
Now, if he is actually the interpretive dance coordinator of the NSA...
Still a big get, but for Visser 3's person.
At the non-structured ambulation division of the government.
Different level of get, but still big.
Yeah.
Still really
Those dainty paws are going to have such a thrill with
Oh
this.
my God. He's going to be moving like you've never seen. Like, it's going to be so good.
What a treat. Yeah.
What
a treat.
You know, I was just thinking, you guys, if Axe lost his tail and then he got a new tail, and then Axe lost the rest of himself and his tail got a new axe, would it be the same axe?
So we're doing like an axe of Theseus?
Yeah. Sometimes they use an axe to do it. Like, sometimes they give an example of replacing an axe.
So, like, I think if the tail... So, like, the big question is how long was the tail attached to the original axe? You know what I mean? If it was more than 6 months, I think that's Axe's tail now. And if you replace the rest of him, it's being attached to Axe's tail. That's still Axe.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a tale of how long the tail is.
The tail is old as time.
It's the tail is old as time. And, you know, it's probably longer and longer with every passing day.
Yeah.
So we think there's a lot of axe in that tail. That tail can do us some damage.
Axes in the tail.
Yeah, I think
thing's a frickin' weapon.
Oh
and
yeah,
we didn't even get to the tail yet.
the majority of his personality is stored in that tail. Like,
yeah.
Whereas Visser 3, it's in the paws.
Oh
it's
yeah, the dainty paws.
Hoofs. It's
dainty
hoofs.
hoofs.
Dainty hoofs.
It's
Well,
just
but
be
yeah,
so
I
much
mean,
cuter if it was paws.
It will be. Well, we talked about beans, man.
Oh
we
yeah, Antilotopians. It didn't happen.
Hoof tongue.
It's not
Yeah,
happening.
you're right. We've been through all of this.
Dude, I wish.
Oh God, we just played
Hoofs
a
are
hit.
cute.
All we do is play the hit.
And
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!